is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are NC.
Sunshine, 88 degrees today in Surprise, Arizona, and Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. And now we are just 8 days away from opening night, and this afternoon at Billy Parker Field, the Royals will host the Oakland Athletics. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. And we knew before spring training even began that the Royals had very few holes to fill on the roster, and yet some decisions still had to be made, and now we know what the starting rotation is going to look like.
Championship caliber teams are all loaded. All the positions are taken, but it's really nice to see that a veteran staff that Ned Yost has assembled here. Going to be fun. See if they can get to those 1,000 innings that Dayton Moore covets. But still, look at them. All these guys are veterans. That's right. Yordano Ventura now is a veteran. He's pitched in 2 postseasons. They're going to the number 3 spot, which is okay. Gives him a little extra time after his little sickness he had here in spring training.
And then Chris Young, Chris Medlin have really pitched well for the most part in spring training. Those are not big surprises, but just like last year in spring training, the Royals have had some surprises on the mound and really helped the Royals a lot last year. This year, one of the big surprises is Ching-Ming Wong. We now know he's not going to be in the starting rotation, but he still has a chance to make this club out of the bullpen.
That's right. He's going to be extremely valuable for Ned Yost and Dave Island here this season. With that good ability he has to pitch out of the bullpen, he can pitch long, but the sinker that he has on his fastball with his velocity back from 93 to 95 makes him dangerous. Man, with a defensively solid ball club of the Royals, with that sinker, that's going to work. Believe it, he'll be in there somewhere this year.
So he may not be in the starting rotation, but he will start today here at Surprise Field against the Oakland Athletics. So it's the Royals and the A's on a beautiful day. We are running out of time, getting ready for opening night against the New York Mets. The first pitch, starting lineups, all coming up next.
City.
That sky is wonderful for the fans, especially those escaping the Midwest. But for the outfield and the infield, it is treacherous. Anything hit in the air in Arizona is an adventure. Coming up today, we're going to hear from Royals general manager Dayton Moore. He'll join us in the top of the second inning. And we'll spend some time looking at other teams in the American League Central, what they did last year, moves they've made to improve this year. And as we do with every spring training broadcast, we will hear from the players down in the dugout as they come out of the game. Oakland A's, they had the best record in the major leagues at the All-Star break in 2014. They barely made the playoffs that year, and of course the Royals beat them in the wild card game. And then Bob Melvin's team last year went 68-94. They were in last place in the American League West, and they will face Chin-Ming Wong, who spent all of last year at AAA. He has not pitched in the big league since 2013.
Chin-Ming Wong, I'll tell you, another low risk, high reward type of player for Ned Yost. They believe it. They have 2 or 3 each spring, and he's a candidate this year. Good hard sinker. 93 to 95. His velocity's back after missing 2.5 years. This guy could be a wonderful find for that rotation or out of the bullpen. He looks good. Big sinker, a couple of slider, changeup, curve. He's got all the mix, and he's a veteran guy who knows how to get outs.
One of those surprises we were talking about at the top of the broadcast last year is now pitching for the Oakland A's. Ryan Madson. Remember, at the end of spring training, it was down to Ryan Madson and Brian Flynn as to who was going to make the opening day roster. The Royals went with Madson. That was a great move, and he did so well. The Oakland A's gave him a 3-year contract.
Yeah, and good for him. And talking to the Oakland A's brass, some of the, Melvin, the manager, and Mike Aldretti, talking about what a nice guy he is, and we all witnessed that last year. So we're really happy for him to get him a nice contract there for the A's. And he'll help them. They had some issues last year back into their bullpen.
Three balls and 1 strike. Billy Burns took full advantage of an opportunity last year with the A's when Coco Crisp was injured. He had his breakout season. He has outstanding speed, a switch hitter, good defensively. Good late movement, and it's 3-2.
Yep, see that ball that starts in on Burns. He backed off it, and that nice little tailing, sinking action to the ball caught the corner. See Chin-Ming, he's going to challenge a lot of hitters and force him to hit that ball on the ground.
Over the mound and near second base, there's Alcides Escobar, and you can see how fast Burns got up the line. Escobar very aware of his speed, close but out, and 1 away. Ned Yost has most of his regulars out there this afternoon. Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, Ray Fuentes will start in right field. Mike Moustakas and Alcides Escobar on the left side. Raul Mondesi Jr. gets to start today at second base with Eric Hosmer at first and Salvador Perez behind the plate.
Yep, all 3 Gold Glove winners from Ned Yost and the Royals are in that infield this year. Escobar with his first. Salvi, you can see the gold on his chest protector from all the way in center field camera. Check it out, just shining. So for Wong, he's a good fit. He can harness that sinker to keep that ball down. We all know the fantastic defense that the world champions put out there. He's going to be getting a lot of outs.
This is Mark Canha, the A's first baseman. That's pulled foul. Is there a better place to pitch than for the Royals with their defense and the size of their ballpark?
I would say not until somebody else proves them wrong. I haven't seen it. Lorenzo Cain gets to most balls now. It's been interesting talking with a few radio shows across the country this week about Lorenzo Cain and the 10 errors that he made. Boy, they're quick to pull that out. It's his most errors in the outfield of any outfielder, from what I understand. And I'm thinking, Really? Those were all on little balls that bounced, you know, that he bobbled. Rarely did any of his errors cost the Royals, but he'll be the next to get a Gold Glove when it's okay. How about Mondesi? It's a young man right there who's ready defensively, but unproven. Offensively, he probably would struggle, but a fantastic young #1 prospect for the Royals.
This is Chris Coghlan, who spent last year with the Cubs. He really rejuvenated his career with the Cubs.
Man, I remember that at bat he had against Giordano. Remember that? They kept pitching to him. He was the only guy who was 2 for 2, and that third at bat with the runner in scoring position, he kept challenging.
Freezing cold day.
Yeah, and that was the only run of the ball game. 1-0. He knocked it in. What an AB! I remember that.
So here's a name that'll hit home with Royals fans, but the A's are trying to make Chris Coghlan a Ben Zobrist type of a player. That's the impact that Zobrist has made. I remember what 10 years ago you were going to be a Mark McLemore type of a player, meaning you could play both the outfield and the infield. And now Ben Zobrist is the standard. 1-2.
Well, the advantage that a sinker baller has like Wong is immense. I mean, that's really all he needs to throw. Once he gets command of that and he just throws that up there, hitters, it looks good to him. But to that last little 2 inches there at the plate on contact, you hit the top of that ball, and that's an out. Unless you can find a hole.
Really tied him up. We saw Wong pitch in San Antonio. In fact, those were the highlights we showed you at the top of the broadcast. And he got hurt with his breaking ball, but you really got the sense that that was a spring training outing for him, where his breaking ball wasn't working, but he kept going to it because he wanted to get for the feel. His sinker was great. So if that was a regular season game, he probably would have scrapped his curveball for the day and just stayed with his sinker.
And that's the beauty of spring training. Managers and coaches, they don't grade players on March and September. You don't make the team usually those 2 months. Spring training, especially if you're a veteran player, that 162 game season, and the more years you have, the proven track record speaks volumes.
Doing a good job of keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate against Coghlan. Still 1-2.
14 pitches. Dave Island told me before the game he might go 40-45 pitches, a couple innings maybe just to work on a few things, but they want to bring him back on Tuesday evening for our final wrap-up game of the spring. It's a night game against the Giants.
Well hit. That ball did get a lot of the plate, but Kane is there, and he makes the play. 3 up, 3 down against Wong in the top of the first.
My school
sitting in the dugout at Kauffman Stadium for the season opener with the Mets. And here's his batting order today. Most of the regulars are in there. Raymond Fuentes will start in right field. Raul Mondesi will be at second. Everybody else would be the projected starter. And the Royals will face a pitcher they've seen before, Chris Bassett, who was 1-8 last year for the A's, but his ERA was pretty good, 3.56. That was his first year with Oakland. He came up through the White Sox organization and pitched with them for 6 games in 2014. So this is a player with just 24 major league games of experience. Defense, huge question mark for the A's. They led the American League last year with 126 errors, and they've had a bad time in spring training. They have committed 38 errors in their 24 games.
And when you think about that, all of those extra pitches that a pitcher has to throw, you know, that's a lot of workload, and we all know if you don't catch the ball, you don't win. So they got a lot of work to do.
Alcides Escobar taking a strike, and now 1 ball, 1 strike. Okay, let me ask you this question. You were saying that, you know, managers look at pitchers and they say, well, this is a spring training start, and you watch hitters, especially veterans, and you say, okay, well, that's just a spring training game. He's just getting himself ready. Is defense different? Does a manager look at defense and say, you know, you should still be playing good defense even though it's just a spring training game?
Yeah, that's a good point. Absolutely. You want to take that game out there, that defense. And really, that spring training, outside of for hitters getting their timing, pitchers getting their innings in and stretching out their arm, that defense, that's a major staple in the game of baseball. You would expect it to have that type of defense in the spring, especially if you're one of the premier players. And you know, most of these guys are so prideful in their job and their work. If they're missing a ball out there, they're going to ask for extra help. They're going to do it upon themselves and say, wow, you know what, I'm better than that. These guys are the best in the world at what they do. So if they're missing on some defensive routes or maybe some ground balls, they're going to find the reason, and they're going to figure it out. Bassett, big curveball there. Tester. Alan Porter over there, first base umpire. This kid here's got a good arm, though, man. He can throw hard. When you have a change in speeds like that with that velocity at 95 and that big old curve, that can really throw the timing off of the hitter. See if he throws Esky another one, 2-2.
At the right field side and down. A base hit in front of Coghlan. So with 2 strikes, Escobar goes the other way for a first inning single.
Stayed with the fastball. Esky, that's about all he can do. That ball's on the outer half. Good little short, compact swing. 2-strike approach. Shortens it up and dumps it right out there and right. Beautiful.
And now Mike Moustakas, who is back in the number 2 spot in the batting order. He takes a fastball for a strike. Career season for Moustakas last year, and in all of those categories. And like he normally does, he's hitting well in Arizona, batting .350 this spring. And again,
wow.
The shift on Moustakas, and we saw this the other night when the Royals played the Dodgers, and Moustakas on 2 different occasions with the exaggerated shift drops the bunt down. So that's how he gets ready for the regular season, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
Heck, he almost bunted a double. That was nice. Fastball. That's right at the belt. And again, the regular season, I don't think Moose is going to be looking to do that early, but the spring training, he's been working on it. Look at that perfect position. Barrel above the hands. That puts the ball down on the ground, and he squared it up perfectly. If you can square up a bunt, he just did that.
And now Lorenzo Cain with 2 on. Like Mike Moustakas, a career season for Kane in all of those categories. And he tied a career high with 28 strikeouts, or 28 stolen bases. The breaking ball stayed up, and Kane was going for it all. 0-2.
Ooh, man. He might have undid a button or two on his jersey after that hack. Wow. That ball's elevated a couple more inches. That ball could have went way into the day here in Surprise.
And Kane goes the other way. He got an 0-2 fastball. Escobar will be held as Coghlan got it back to the infield quickly. It looked like Bassett tried to sneak a fastball by him after the slow curve, and Kane was ready for it.
You know what? Even in spring training, Rhino, you can't sneak a piece of cheese by a hungry low Kane, man. Look at that. Beautiful stroke. That ball's right down the middle, short, compact. Look at that lean back. Wow. If Torrey Hunter's watching, he'd be really proud of him for that lean back, but that's a great stroke.
So 3 singles, 2 of those with 2 strikes. And they're loaded up for Eric Hosmer. Tempted, but the pitch was up and in. Career highs for Hosmer with those 93 runs driven in and the 363 on base percentage.
Haas has 20 to 25 homers in him. Could be more as he continues to evolve, but I tell you, with the little extra weight he put on, I talked to him earlier. He said he didn't change his routine from any other year, but he looks a lot more buffed in his chest, his shoulders, his back. He did some extra iron work, that's for sure. That's going to help him over the long season.
Two and one.
But I think he's finally figured out it's that front foot that's really held him back, because he gets so anxious. He lunges out there on that front foot. He found out last season, especially towards the end, he's such a good second half hitter. He just wants to set that foot, that right foot up and just set it down. Pick it up, set it down, and not lunge out there. It keeps his balance better and his hands back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, going back to these numbers, point number 1, 37 tied the game or gave the Royals the lead. That was amongst the league leaders. And then number 3, 17 runs driven in the postseason. That's a Royals record. So 93 driven in. That's a good season. Maybe not a great season, but he's already a clutch hitter.
Without a doubt. And he's not the only one in there. The Royals so good at hurting their opponents with 2 outs. Those 2-out RBIs broke the opponent's back. We talked about it all year long, and sure enough, it happened in postseason. They have a knack, and you know they know each other's game now, and they just want to keep the line moving. How many times did we hear that last year? You're going to hear it again. That's their theme offensively.
And now 3-2 after Bassett hung the high curveball.
So with that kind of fastball, even though it's out over the middle of the plate, he might just want to try it here with Haas. 3-2. If you're a hitter, you got to be looking for that pitch. Adjust to the hook if it's a strike. You got to challenge him here. First inning, spring training.
And he walked him.
Nice plate appearance.
So an RBI for Hosmer, which gives his team the lead. And now they're loaded up for the Royals' leading RBI man, Kendrys Morales.
I mean, what's incredible that the world champions have that they didn't have 4 years ago was a lineup that was a real American League lineup. I mean, a mashing lineup. And Morales, he brought all that last year. It's another guy that they got that no one else really was very high on except the Royals. They said, you know, we need a guy from both sides of the plate that can help Eric Hosmer. He can fit in there behind Haas, help out the rest of this lineup. And now look at it. You got Moose, Kane, Hosmer, Morales, Gordon, Perez. I mean, there's some meat in there.
A little off speed. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Royals really believe, and when I say the Royals, the coaching staff and the front office, they believe that these guys are going to hit more home runs. Not because they're going to try to hit more home runs, just because they're older. You mentioned Hosmer, same workout routine, but he's filling out. Guys have a better idea of what ball to look for to hit out. Not that one. 1 and 2 on Kendrys Morales. So there's only so much you can do at Kauffman Stadium, and yet Ned Yost believes that more home runs will come.
That would be a nice surprise for them to see that. But look, you don't need to change a thing. Just let the rabbits on, let them run, hit the gap. Nice pitch there. Got him off speed. I mean, the Royals have so many ways they can beat you. By the way they put the ball in play, the contact, the way they move runners. They have some bunting ability, especially with Fuentes. If Fuentes gets in that lineup and he makes that opening day roster, he can bunt. So, sure, Tyson, had that and brings that intangible, but this is a team that's dangerous in all aspects.
Here's Alex's numbers last year in 104 games. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the fastball is inside. Good numbers for Alex. And now 2-0.
See, and even Alex Gordon, this late in his career, I mean, he's got plenty of good years left, but he's still learning about hitting. Dale Swaim was telling me about his back leg, how he's standing up a little more upright, and he's having more leverage, and he's trying to lift that ball to go opposite field, which is going to make him quick inside, but he's also looking to, when he sees that hanger and he recognizes it, he's standing up taller and he's able to leverage that bottom hand and put that ball to left center with some authority.
And this green light here on 3-0 is as big and bright as Chris Bassett's jersey.
Oh, he had a rip. That's what you want. 3-0. You got to go, man.
Especially
Take a
in spring training.
Oh, for sure. Love it. Ball was away on him.
Alex has Moustakas at third, Kane at second, Hosmer at first. And another bases loaded walk. So the Royals have gotten 2 runs on walks with the bases loaded. Hosmer driving in a run, and now Gordon. And now Kurt Young, the A's pitching coach, is going to jog out to the mound.
Well, you got to love this offense so far in this first inning, setting the tone. Guys being patient. Let the first 2 guys get on base. Lorenzo Cain with a beautiful hit to right field, and then Haas taking the walk, Gordon getting the walk. Just letting that pitcher get himself into trouble.
And that's part of the team concept too, where a guy doesn't go to the plate. Now this is a spring training game, but this is how it carries over into the regular season. Guy goes up to the plate, and if he has a more selfish mindset, I'm going to do something here because those are my RBIs.
Exactly. You're right.
As opposed to, I'll take my walk, I'll take one, and let my teammate drive him home.
So much of that they've learned over the last couple of championship seasons. There's no doubt.
To third, and Chapman comes to the plate. So there was 1 out to get, and Chapman figured they'll cut down the run. So Kane is out. And now they're loaded up with 2 down for Raymond Fuentes.
Salvi not happy. He wanted to do more with that. But you're right, Ryan. I mean, this team is unselfish. That's another word that went under the radar a lot last year, with a lot of broadcasters that really didn't understand the Royals. Is this team they care more about the next guy than they do themselves. And, you know, in this game, man, that's rare. It's very selfish. A lot of guys are selfish. Like you said, me, I. I'm going to get those. I'm going to be the hero. They've learned, let the next guy do it.
Base hit left field for Fuentes. So his great spring continues. It's a bad throw from left. 2-run score. Hosmer and Gordon. Fuentes goes to second on the throw home. And the Royals have a 4-run bottom of the first inning. And for Fuentes, those are RBIs 11 and 12 for the team lead.
Stay hot. Looking for a bus driver this season? Well, we know 1 through 9, you just never know. But this young man here has opened up a lot of eyes. He's a baseball player. He can do it all. He's got good speed. He can run. And, you know, he hits for power. One of the things that he's a little careless at times on the bases. But, you know, Rusty Kuntz, one of the greatest baseball coaches there is in the world. It's going to be Rusty's job to try to harness him a little bit. But you'd rather have a guy like him that's unbridled, that's a little bit out there, you know, hard to contain, could be a little bit excited at times, than a guy who's not. You can always try to reel him in and harness him in. But this guy's going to make a big difference, especially early in the season.
And some power too. I mean, he looks like a slap hitter, but he's homered 3 times. He is a first-round pick, former first-round pick of the Red Sox. So that's what the industry, and specifically Boston, thought of him back in 2009. And, you know, nice sign right there, too, that he's been hitting for some power and driving in runs, but he was happy just to go to left field.
Right. And when you're hitting for some power, typically you're going to look to turn it up a little bit. Oh, bad.
There's a little example of Mondesi's bat speed.
Yeah, there's a souvenir for the Rangers clubhouse over there on the other side. But, you know, for Fuentes to shorten up and go the opposite way speaks a lot about his hitting ability as well.
And now Mondesi has 2 in scoring position. Breaking ball. So that was really the only pitch that Bassett had in the bottom of the first inning. He gives up 4. Dayton Moore, Royals general manager, will join us when we come back. The Royals have a 4-0 lead. The Royals score 4 in the bottom of the first inning. Raymond Fuentes drove in 2 of those. And we welcome to the broadcast booth Royals general manager Dayton Moore. And let's just jump right into it. Hud and I were talking quite a bit about Raymond Fuentes even before he drove in the 2 runs. You know, to some Royals fans, it might be a name they're not familiar with, but he was a first-round pick of the Boston Red Sox.
He was highly regarded player out of Puerto Rico, and you know, a lot of skills, a lot of tools, and he's always had the ability to hit and run, and you know, use his legs. And you know, he's just kind of been a late developer. Sometimes, as you know, when you change organizations, and he was a part of significant trades. And, it takes a little longer to just, develop a comfort zone. But he's played well all spring.
Is that one of the many advantages of winning, that you can slow down and you don't have to bring a Raymond Fuentes to the big leagues before he's ready?
No doubt. He does have options, and you're always looking to get fill as much depth as you can, especially, in our ballpark, as much as we value defense, and especially outfield defense. And again, he fits our profile, and he plays winter ball every year, and that's something that's often overlooked. And sometimes it's so hard to get players to go play winter ball these days. And but Paulo Orlando, winter ball every year. Now he's in the major leagues. Ray Fuentes keeps playing winter ball, keeps getting better, and he's had a great spring, as I said.
Hey, ooh man, that ball found some leather. Dayton, he's aggressive. What would impress me? This is the first game we had the other night. He went first to home on a ball that didn't even get to the outfield, to the dirt out there. He was aggressive. He was safe, in my opinion, at home on the sweep tag. When talking with Rusty Kuntz, he said, he's a little bit too aggressive. He's an exciting type of guy. It's going to be a little bit tough to harness him in. Wouldn't you rather have a guy like that compared to the opposite?
No doubt. I mean, he's obviously trying to make an impression, and he knows the importance of running the bases well and base stealing, and he knows the type of player that he needs to be. And Rusty makes a comment all the time, let your eyes move your feet. Don't try to do too much. Just let your naturalness kind of take over. And but being around Rusty is going to only help him. And as we know, Rusty's such a great teacher and great knowledge, and he's done a lot of great work with a lot of really good players that had ability and but were unproven, and end up playing a long time in the major leagues. And so hopefully Raymond will be his next pupil.
He's in right field today. Are you guys comfortable with all three outfield spots with him?
We are. In our ballpark, he probably fits a wing a little bit better. Obviously, we got a Gold Glover in left field, and we feel a Gold Glover in center field with Lorenzo Cain. And Paulo Orlando is certainly capable of winning one of those someday if he ever got the opportunity to play on a consistent basis. But and he perhaps will. Now that that spot's pretty much wide open. It's going to be a continuous rotation for us, I think, for a while there. But we feel like we've got the athleticism and the type of players that can be productive in our lineup.
Well, not only those guys you mentioned, but I think Moose has a potential for a Gold Glove someday.
Absolutely.
He's got a cannon. He gets to a lot of balls to his left and right. He comes in as good as any third baseman in the league. So, I mean, we're just talking about that with Chin-Ming Wong. His sinker ball is going to play well to this defense.
We don't have a pitcher really with his type of skill set in our rotation or in our bullpen. We got a lot of power, as we know, late in the bullpen, and we got a combination of power and strong pitchability in the rotation. But Ned's really never had a pitcher they can bring in to get a ground ball, double play, and so. He can do that, and we'll see. I mean, he's made a strong impression thus far in camp. We have some time to go, and he's still competing, but we like what we've seen thus far.
Out to right field, and Fuentes waits for it and makes a play. And now there are two down. Let's look at some of the numbers for Chin-Ming Wong, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. I remember that he had some really good seasons with the Yankees. This is 2006. He finished second to Johan Santana for the Cy Young Award. And then he was basically the same guy the next year. He won 19 games. But Hud and I were talking before the game. I mean, it was 9 years ago. It seems like about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's been a while.
It has. And, Rene Francisco scouted him when he was 16 years old. Of course, Dave Island had experience with him in New York, and he was one of the better pitchers, in the American League, and, throughout all of baseball, when he was in his prime. And, his career had, he had some injuries and some setbacks, but, here he is, and he kept persevering, kept pushing, and, he's a winner. And if he's healthy, he'll give us some quality innings in whatever role we decide.
Overall, now with 8 days to go before the bell rings, with the spring training, you're happy with everything? I mean, you got to be only one injury, I mean, this has been really a nice spring.
It has. Spring training for me always has been. It's less of a player evaluation and more of a process evaluation for me and what I do and my role in the organization as the general manager. But, I like our processes. Ned obviously is, a tremendous manager. The coaching staff, everybody knows what to do. I spend a lot of time, in the minor league side as you get to know those players during this period of the year a little bit better. And we're right where we need to be at this point. And again, the key is just staying healthy.
That one injury that Hud was talking about, how's Gerard Dyson coming along?
He's coming along very well. We first game of the spring training, took a swing, felt something. And the next one, when he rolled over on a ground ball and felt a tug. And so we feel it's 4 to 6 weeks, and he's progressing well. No setbacks thus far, and we'll see how it plays out.
Force at second base. Can you stick around for another
Absolutely.
inning?
Yep, love
Chatting
to.
with Dayton Moore. Shin-Ming Wong has pitched 2 scoreless innings. The Royals lead 4-0.
These
Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, and we're visiting with Royals general manager Dayton Moore. And earlier today, Dayton, Ed made official his 5-man rotation. And I remember when you took over as general manager and you laid down some things that were very important to you. 1,000 innings from your starting rotation. And Ian Kennedy, your big addition, is an innings guy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something we strive for, and you always can't execute it, but it's got to be the mindset of the rotation. And we also knew that obviously we've been competing deep into the seasons and high leverage playoff World Series, and we felt like we really needed to make sure we did a better job of getting more innings out of our rotation. Certainly the bullpen's been pitching in high leverage, so we feel Ian can do that for us, of course. Chris Medlin certainly capable. We know what we have in Chris Young, and Volquez and Ventura got a chance to dominate with their power, but you got to anticipate them to be high pitch count guys early in the year as they look to harness in those live arms. But we like what we've seen in spring training. Both pitched in minor league games. Volquez and Ventura, I'm alluding to. They pitched in minor league games the last time out and repeated their pitches. They were on the attack, and their velocity was very good. Their arms were alive, and they were throwing with conviction. So it was good to see.
Dayton, can you share with our audience the evaluation process that you guys go through with Ned, Dave Island, when it comes to pitchers? And what are you looking for when you evaluate these guys? Are you looking at the numbers they put up, or are you looking at other things?
They all have a history, obviously, what they've done in the previous years, specifically the year before, and so you have a pretty good idea what the vision is for the pitcher and how they're going to potentially fit into your organization, either out of spring training as you start the season, or perhaps in Omaha or Northwest Arkansas, where they might factor in through the year. But so we don't really look at spring training as a way, okay, they've got to do something special or to make the club, so to speak, because we have a pretty good idea of what they can do. Now, when you look at someone like Chien-Ming Wang, who we didn't really know what to expect, and he's been a surprise for us, and you need those types of surprises if you're going to win. I mean, players have to step up, players that you necessarily weren't counting on. The game is so unpredictable, as you both know, and to get those types of picker-uppers like Matson last year and Chien-Ming Wang so far in spring training, and we'll see how if he makes our team or not. But you need those types of those good things to happen.
How have you been so successful at low-risk, high-reward players over the past? And, you don't see that too many times with other organizations. It seems like you guys
stay aggressive, take chances, trust your development people, your pitching coaches, your coaches, trust where players come in focused, and they know the importance of winning and representing the game the right way, and so it all factor contribute to that.
Yeah, well,
but you got to stay aggressive. If you don't give them a chance, you know what will happen. Well, you'll never get stories like Blanton and Matson and
who both got major league contracts this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the things that we tell the players and their agents. Look, you're on a comeback type year, and just come here. We're going to believe in you. We're not going to bring a ton of players into camp. You're going to get the innings. You're going to get the opportunity. And if it all works out, you're going to either be with us in 2017 and beyond, or you're going to be with somebody else, and hopefully you restart your career. And so it's a win-win for everybody.
2 down to Lorenzo Cain. He singled his first time up. We brought this up before, but last year the bullpen led the league in innings pitched, which normally that's not a good statistic for a team. But of the top 23 individuals, only 3 guys were in there. So on one hand, it was a lot of innings, but nobody really got ground down.
You have to build your bullpen in a way that you have depth. And if you ask any relief pitcher, how many nights can they go out there in a week and have their great stuff? And most of them will say 3, and they might say 4. But the truth of the matter, it's 2 to 3 appearances a week to have their dominant stuff. And so you want to be able to protect them. You want to be able to make sure that Ned has plenty of options and a lot of different guys to match up, and then they end up feeding off each other. They're all having success. They're believing in each other. Nobody's getting more attention than the other, and they know the importance of the synergy of that and how it works as one to help you match up late to win games. So that's the way we've always tried to do it. Some years we've had more success than others, but it's always been important to us.
I'm glad that, first of all, Cain wasn't hit in the face, but second of all, that he walks, because our director, Steve Kurtenbach, just showed us a shot of Danny Duffy warming up in the bullpen, and with all this stuff, the rest of the rush, she's not fought. A lot of value. He seemed to enjoy pitching out of the bullpen, and is that something that is this temporary for Danny Duffy, or is this kind of like, all right, let's see what Danny Duffy can do if we really
We'll see. I mean, yes and no. I mean, Danny, as we know, he's a grip and rip guy, likes to attack, but we believe that he still has a lot of potential as a starter. I mean, I can't over the fact in 2014 for a 2-month period there, July, he was the starter there was in the American League. Certainly one of the best left-handers in baseball during that period of time, and we don't have a left-hand starter in our rotation. We also know that every team's going to need 7 to 8 quality starters in that rotation to get through a major league season, and we think Danny can perhaps transition into one of those guys. But if he goes to the bullpen and he is dominant as we think he can be, certainly going to prepare him for success. It's not to hurt him. Will it translate? Will he be able to transition in? When? No, but the fact that he knows he has a dominant role in the game will give him a lot of confidence, knowing that he can give hit out. He's contributed to the team. You know, every player wants to be a part of success. They all want to contribute. Danny is certainly no different, and we can give him this confidence in that role, which he should perform well. You know, he can perhaps get back into as a starter. But like I said, we'll see how that plays out.
Perfect ending.
Okay.
Thank you, Dayton.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Rhino.
All right.
Appreciate it, Hud.
Have a good year at spring training, Dave. Thanks for coming up, bud.
The Royals scored 4 in the first inning against Chris Bassett, and a 4-0 lead as the A's come up in the top of the third. Chien-Ming Wang stays on to face Eric Sogard, Billy Burns, and Mark Canha. And as we were visiting with Dayton Moore, we saw Danny Duffy warming up, so he's ready to go. So this is likely not a full inning for Chien-Ming Wang. Would you say about 40-45 pitches?
That's what the World Championship pitching coach Dave Island told me before the game. What a difference. Spring training now, you know, going into the season. When you're at the top of the mountain, believe me, you're going to be hunted. People are going to be after the Royals. But, man, I tell you, the success that these guys have worked hard in is, man, tip your hat to these guys. They worked hard. No one expected the Royals to do anything like they did last year after that 14 season. And they were able to get by Houston Astros, and then that was it. Bring on Toronto. How exciting those games were, man. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about how much fun that was.
And it all really started against this team right here in the wild card game in 2014. Yeah, I'm asked, and you are as well, coming down here in spring training, you know, what does the team look like? And that's hard to say because the team hardly plays together until, you know, the very end. What's the demeanor like? To me, these are the same guys, and I don't mean literally, but as far as their individual demeanor and the way that they prepare and their personalities, these are the same guys that were getting ready for spring training in 2013, in 2014, and last year. That's a base hit to center field for Eric Sogard. And I personally didn't get all caught up in, well, Pacoda last year said they were going to win 75 games or whatever, and they've got a chip on their shoulder. I don't think that they cared about that number. I mean, I think they kind of laughed at it. I think it was losing Game 7 of the World Series which motivated them more than anything else.
You are 100% correct. And I believe the same thing. And then talking to the guys. Now, Haas said this year when they saw that they were predicted to win 75 games, they laughed. Exactly. Last year, to go along with the anger they felt from losing the World Series, yeah, that was a little extra punch in the gut for sure. But this year, it's all about doing the same things, the preparation, you know, the little things, making the plays on defense, and supporting one another like they did last year. I mean, incredible off-the-field stuff that went on with the deaths of the 3 players of their parents, in the way they rallied and they hung together and they supported one another.
Hit and run. And Mike Moustakas makes a great read. And now the Royals have a chance for 2, and they pull it off. But it all started with Mike Moustakas assuming that Eric Sogard would round second base, and he did not unload the throw to first.
You know what the Oakland A's are trying to think there, because Sogard, you know, he just assumed that Moose was going to throw the ball across the diamond. Good speed, just a little action play. They're trying to get first and third here, and they end up with a double play. Because Moose, he peeked out of the corner of his eye. See how he looked? He saw him, and he knew that he was going to be able to get that out. But then watch Escobar. Watch the fine throw back to second. Look at that, off balance, running backwards. That takes some kind of skills, and one of the reasons that he wears the gold. This is airtight defense. You can't make base running mistakes on the Royals with that.
I wanted to bring this up when we were talking about the Royals defensively, in that there's ability there, there's a work ethic there. I don't remember who said it, but it always stuck with me that the defense is as much about attitude as it is anything else. And just the player deciding on his own that his defense is just as important as his offense. As Mondesi makes a play at second base, and there are the Royals. I mean, Mike Moustakas played that like it was a regular season game.
Love the swagger. Way to go, fellas.
A fast.
Ball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By the Surprise Recreation Campus, the campus of champions. Royals have already had a big inning on offense. 4 runs in the first. Chin-Ming Wong ended up finishing the 3rd inning, and the Royals have already made a huge defensive play.
That was special. I don't remember seeing a play like that in a long time. You remember seeing a play like that?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's part of the beauty of baseball.
But to turn into a double play.
Yeah. And for Speedy Burns to think that he could get to second base, we saw a lot of instincts.
Smothered by Sogard, and he will throw out Kendrys Morales.
Watch the instincts here. This is instincts. Moose feels he's going to go to third. Gets him running back towards second. Escobar enough time to get, and look at those instincts. He's backpedaling right over the top on the way back to third. He throws a perfect strike to Mondesi. That was special.
And you see, I mean, Lorenzo Cain is a world champion, finished 3rd for MVP last year. He's the Royals Player of the Year 2 games in a row. And did you see his kid-like reaction when that play was over at second base. Watch Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, that's 2 fist bumps. Said we got 1, we got 2, and look where he was. He was ready to get in that rundown if they needed him. Spring training game, really? That's a beautiful thing.
Now, that was my point before the break, that, you know, Mike Moustakas, you know, played that like it was a regular season game, and that was a really important runner, and that there was a scouting report on that runner. And if he had just simply thrown to first, and Sogard, who was running on the play, by the way, had gone first to third, I don't know if anyone would have said that was a bad play by Mike Moustakas. I mean, 4-run lead.
Take the out.
Take the out.
It was a beauty. Just shows that defensive mentality and their great reactions they have. Instincts.
Alex was reaching at the slow curveball, and Sogard fighting that Arizona sun. He played at ASU, so he has some background in this area. 2 down. Well, the Royals want you to follow the team to Philadelphia, Boston, or New York City this summer. Royals Destinations fan packages are available now and include great game tickets, hotel accommodations, VIP ballpark tours, and a meet and greet with a Royals player. Inside is Salvador Perez, and you can learn more at Royals.com/destinations.
I tell you, the K is one of the most beautiful ballparks there is in the country. The fountains and the big scoreboard they have there, and of course all the blue fans in the stands, all the wearing blue. But look,
and the blue fan, we like the blue fans.
Blue fans,
also.
yes. But look, going on the road, that's a whole different ball game for some of you fans that've never been to a visiting ballpark. Go out there, man. And last year, all those Royals fans in the visiting ballparks was really a breath of fresh air.
I can't think of a place where we didn't hear "Let's Go Royals"
right
on the road. I mean, there were some places where it was louder than others, but Royals fans were there to greet their team all around the American League and the National League.
Yeah, and you know what? It's affected a whole nother generation of fans. And doing our open today before the game down the field, you can tell them it's a world championship crowd. And they can't wait to see a player. Salvi's usually the first one there, and man, they let him know that he just makes an appearance and they're cheering for him.
4-0 Royals at the end of 3. The top of the 4th inning. Let's look back at Chin-Ming Wong's day. No walks, no strikeouts. A lot of balls in play, and he got some good defense behind him.
He sure did. Only a few that he got up that they hit, but man, I tell you, sinker ballers a premium. Less is more. Down in the zone, the ball there was hit on the nose, but it's elevated a little bit. But for the most part, you gotta love what you saw. No strikeouts, no walks, just a lot of outs.
Danny Duffy, who pitched mostly as a starter last year, but he did make 6 appearances out of the bullpen, which went well. He enjoyed pitching out of the bullpen, and now we know that he is not part of the 5-man starting rotation. So at the moment, he'll be pitching out of the pen. But as Dayton Moore shared with us, the Royals still have hope for him being a starter someday. We're going to visit with Ian Kennedy, who's down in the Royals dugout. Ian, first of all, thank you for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having me on.
Let's just begin with your spring, because you've been around for a long time and you've had some successful big league seasons. As Salvi looks up into that Arizona sun and will make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out to get Chris Coghlan. How do you feel personally about where you are right now as we're getting so close to opening day?
You know, yesterday I would have wished it went a little longer in the game, but I know getting my pitch count up was the main thing. You know, we try to go out every single time to improve a little bit. You know, yesterday was a little rough on me, but you know, all the way up till yesterday, I felt pretty good with how everything was progressing, how you know, body feels, arm feels. So that's you know, I came out of it yesterday, threw a lot of pitches, like I said, but I feel pretty good.
Love the career post All-Star numbers there, Ian. You're a strong finisher. What do you have to say about that?
No, you know, I kind of take pride in, you know, pitching the whole season, pitching well, you know, when the games really count. You know, it's over time as things go on. As you play your career, you start to see some things happen, and that's one of the common tendencies. I can't put a finger on it what it is, but you know, that's something you take pride in as a pitcher. You at least when the games really count. You know, I try to take pride, and you can count on me.
This is your 4th organization. What's it like being a Royal?
Oh, I love it. Walked in this clubhouse from day one, and I love the atmosphere. The guys are really nice. The guys felt like I've been part of this team for a while. And you know, starting with Dayton, started with Ned, and I worked with Dave in the past. But it's a fun team to be around. Like, you could tell that the chemistry is. I've been saying it since day one. I talk about these guys all the time, but there's a reason why they've been in the World Series the last 2 years and won last year.
And, you know, we won't ignore the contract. You got a nice contract from the Royals, so obviously that's appealing. And yet I'm wondering, you know, just to follow up on Hud's question, what you assumed about this team, having watched them on television, watching them in the postseason and hearing everything about them, you know, and then what it was actually like being with them. Was it what you expected, or was it more?
It's probably a little more. You know, like you said, you watch them in the playoffs, you watch how much fun they're having, and not just the talent on the field, but you could tell, like, each guy in the dugout, they're pulling for each other. You know, last year watching Haas, he made a mistake in one of the playoff games, and then I think Gordo hit that home run to tie the ball game and kind of pick him up, and the first thing I did, go to camera to him, and he gave him a big old hug. But it's like one of those things that I wanted to be a part of. You kind of hope that, you know, in the off season when you're a free agent, you kind of want to be a part of that. But, you know, luckily I've been blessed to be able to have the opportunity to come here and be a part of that myself.
National League, American League, does it really matter who you pitch to? What league?
You know, you got to get used to it. I kind of like the mental break of hitting, and, you know, there's a lot more things that go on when you're trying to work on your bunting. And you tell in spring training we would spend an hour bunting and try to make sure that we got the sacrifices down. But now it's, you know, the American League game. It doesn't change how you pitch. Doesn't change. You don't get to face a pitcher in a lineup, but for the most part, you still got to approach the lineups exactly the same, and you still got to make your pitches.
Ian, there's a rule with Royals broadcasting. Every time we have a guest on, the inning flies right by. Can you hang on another half inning?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay, chatting with Ian Kennedy. The Royals lead 4-0 to the bottom of the 4th. 4-0 Royals as they come up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Raymond Fuentes, Raul Mondesi, and Alcides Escobar will come up. We're visiting with Ian Kennedy, who is down in the Royals dugout. I can't think of a more dreadful place to pitch than Arizona, with the way the ball carries and how hard the ground is. And so what, as a veteran guy, what is important? What means something when you're pitching here, Ian, and what doesn't mean anything to you when you're transitioning to the regular season?
You know, there's sometimes where you give up a home run on a good pitch, but like in spring training, your command's not quite there yet. You're slowly kind of just work out the kinks a little bit. Your breaking ball early on in camp may not be the same, but we're also trying to compete, so we get frustrated with it. You expect your curveball to be the strikeout curveball and it hangs, or you spike it too far. That's what happens with me early on in camp. You know, there's some days where I found my off speed was better and my fastball wasn't there, but then it all kind of works out slowly as the season goes on. And it seems like as soon as the lights go on and as soon as you start playing at night and you start playing the real season, you can tell the games really count. You know, that's when you see your stuff finally come up. Yeah, so yeah, you kind of get away with, the hitters get away with a little bit of the hard ground. You can tell some of the base hits that are up front, the home plate right there. It's pretty hard, but you know, you're still competing, but it's slowly. People have to remember that we're also trying to work on our stuff too.
I've asked hitters this question. I want to get a pitcher's point of view. Here's the 1-2 to Fuentes. He drove in 2 runs in that Royals 4-run first inning. I've wondered about, I've asked hitters before, you get into a nice groove here in Arizona, or Florida for that matter. It's warm, you got short sleeves on, you got sunglasses on, you're nice and comfortable, and then you jump on an airplane and you go north, and now you got long underwear on, you've got a turtleneck on, and you're wearing batting gloves as much to keep your hands warm, if anything else. As Sogard throws out Fuentes one away. How about from a pitcher's point of view to, what kind of a groove can you establish in the warm weather when, I don't want to break the news to you, but the weather is not going to be like this at first series against the Mets in Kansas City.
I've been spoiled the last couple of years. I've been playing with, the Diamondbacks have an open facility. I mean, they have a roof, and so it was always really nice. And then I went to San Diego, which the weather couldn't get any better. So being on the West, it was a lot different. This is going to be a big adjustment for me. Like you said, I looked at the weather the other day because we're packing up our house and ready to go out, and we look at the weather. We have to get our girls and our family alone just get ready for that. But especially for us, we got to, put on the layers. Try to keep warm while we're in the dugout. But I could tell you probably I've pitched in a couple of cold games, but as long as you keep moving and you keep moving, you just kind of stay warm.
Mondesi hits a rocket to right field. That's caught by Coughlin.
So, Ian, did I hear you have 4 daughters in a 5-year period of time?
Yeah. So my oldest is going to be 5 coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And then then Nora's 4. She's going to be 5, and then Renee's 3. And then I have Lydia, that's 2, and then we have a 7-month-old Evelyn. So.
Oh man, Rhino,
he's got me beat.
Yeah.
we discussed this at FanFest.
Oh,
and we were backstage when he was at FanFest, and I started counting little pretty girls in blue dresses, and there were 4. So we had 4 in 5.5 years, and you've done 4 in less than 5 years, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I got a great mom, we have a great wife, so she's an unbelievable mom. I know I'm a way better person around her. She keeps our kids, she keeps our family in line, so she's awesome.
Well, we have 2 outs again, but let the Royals fans know a little bit about your personality, about who you are, hobbies. How can we get to know you?
You know about my 4 little girls. That's a lot of my life as it is. But besides baseball, going out, I love to golf. When we're on the road, I like to see golf courses, and I like to see different parts of the country that you don't really get to play, and golf courses that we see on TV. So that's one of my biggest hobbies. And this off season, I picked up hunting. So I got Hoach over here. That's going to be kind of my local redneck. That's going to keep me just kind of in that circle. And I love duck hunting, so that's what I was hooked this offseason.
Well, I'll let you know this. The hunting in Kansas City is going to be better than it was in San Diego.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I grew up in California, and I never did that. growing up in Southern California, you don't do any of that stuff. I just started golfing maybe about 6 years ago. Love it, and got pretty good at it pretty quick. And now I'm pretty much stalled as my handicap's going higher and higher as I have more kids.
I don't want to put you on the spot, and I'm sorry if my information is incorrect, but I thought I heard that you and your wife aren't just planning on being part-timers in KC, but you're considering moving to Kansas City.
Yeah, we're moving. We just packed up our house. Our house is kind of chaos right now. We got movers packing us all up, and we thought Arizona was going to be our home, but you know, my wife's from St. Louis. She grew up in the Midwest, so we decided, let's move out there. My daughter starts school next year, and we heard Kansas City is a great place to raise a family, and I would miss them too much going back and forth, and that's kind of what it came down to. Family was really important to us, and I want my kids around when, you know, hopefully we go to the playoffs and all that stuff. I don't want them to be at home in Arizona and getting on plane flights back and forth. I just want them to be around them all the time.
Well, that's going to be music to Royals fans' ears to hear you say something like that. And I don't want you to give away your address, but have you picked out a part of town where you guys are going to live?
Yeah, we're going to live. We're living in Leawood, Overland Park area. So okay. We found a good house, and I found out that I don't live too far from Dayton, which was kind of funny. I didn't realize we're going to be kind of neighbors.
Well, at least you have one neighbor when your wife runs out of milk and you're on the on the road, and you got the four daughters. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We're just, like I said, we're the values of the Midwest that we're looking forward to be a part of. I'm gonna have to survive all those cold weather winter times, but it's worth it for our family to be together all the time.
Can't tell you how good the duck holes are there.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Coach is already trying to spend my money, get us a place to go.
That's the guy to follow. You're following the right guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Ian, thanks a lot. It was great visiting with you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Ian. Okay. Royals are scoreless in the bottom of the fourth inning. They have a 4-0 lead. Look at that shot of the Grand Canyon. That is a Grand Canyon, isn't it?
Looks like it to me. Beautiful.
4-0 Royals. A couple of bases loaded walks in the bottom of the first, and then Ray Fuentes drove in 2. He and Eric Hosmer tied for the team lead with 12 RBIs, and Chin Ming Wong, who found out today he was not going to be in the starting rotation, at least to begin the season, going to get a shot out of the bullpen, and he turned in 3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, and he looked good. Obviously, it's been a pleasant surprise, and obviously another one of those low risk high reward type of players it's going to be, and the fact that he's worked hard, hadn't been pitched in the big leagues in 2.5 years, good for him. He's worked hard. His perseverance, that's one of the key ingredients of a ball player. It's got 8-9 years in the big leagues, but he's not done. He went to Texas, that pitching camp out there, and he refound his arm slot. It's on top. He worked his body to where he's got velocity back to 93, 95, and you gotta love what this guy's done. And hopefully the Royals will see the benefits of that. Hard work. That's what it takes.
It was interesting when Dayton Moore was up here talking about Chien-Ming Wang specifically. I mean, we've been so accustomed, even when the Royals were still losing 90 games, Dayton Moore and his staff always seems to put together a good bullpen. Semien takes a leadoff walk, but the way he put it, which I hadn't considered, is that the Royals really haven't had a true just ground ball specialist for a while, and with all the talent they've had out there, to have somebody like that. And I'm picturing in my mind, Hud, the game on the line, crowds going crazy, the emotion is at a peak, and there's Chien-Ming Wang with that ultra slow pitching motion, and how that's going to drive hitters crazy, just waiting for the ball to get there.
Yeah, and then they get a little anxious. They hit the top of the ball right at Escobar or Moose. I see it coming.
This is Josh Phegley. A couple of guys batting here. Semien, who just walked, and now Phegley. We saw them with the White Sox. Now with the A's, Phegley singled to center field in the second inning, one of the 3 singles against Chien-Ming Wang.
Talking with Dave Island before the game about Duffy, he said he wants to see Duffy a little more under control, more quality pitches in this outing. It's getting close, 8 days to go. They want to see Duffy start to fine-tune occasionally. And he went 1-2-3 in that first inning. Now Salvi's already had a visit here. He's just a little bit. They want him to sharpen everything up. They call it cleaning some things up.
And he's missing high. 3-0 on Phegley. We've seen pitchers like Luke Hochevar as a great example go to the bullpen and turn his career around and become an elite reliever. And then the other side of that, that's a strike to Phegley, and it's an extreme example, but it happened in Kansas City. We saw Zach Greinke go to the bullpen and then return to the starting rotation, and that turned his career around. And now we'll see what boat Danny Duffy ends up on.
You know, you love Duffy's mentality. He loves to pitch. He's one of those guys that gets super amped up. And when he was a starter and he didn't have a good start, he had 4 days to stew on the bench. And for some guys, that's tough. And then he would go out, maybe not have another good outing in a row. And then that worked on his mental psyche. So pitching out of the pen, he's got a chance to get back out there day after day. Ooh, man, good concentration. Boy, that'll show you some athleticism there by Mondesi. Haas lost it right away. Mondesi stayed with it. The wind blowing here, it's going to push the ball back into fair territory. Look at Hosmer find. Look at it. The focus there on Mondesi. Brilliant young talent.
Made it look easy.
Sure did. He's got some nice skills.
We were talking with Ian Kennedy about how tough it is to pitch here in Arizona. There's another factor, the wind. This is Matt Chapman. It's a guy to keep an eye on. The A's are very high on him. He was their first-round pick just 2 years ago at a Cal State Fullerton, and he hit 23 home runs last year in A-ball. But Danny Valencia is expected to be the A's regular third baseman this year, close at first base. Danny Valencia is having a very good spring. He's hit 5 home runs, so though Chapman's time's down, but 23 home runs in 5 months basically last year in A-ball. And White.
Offense there, no question about it. And to see a young kid like this with that kind of future is great. Josh Reddick, he'll be in Go crisp. They'll have some veterans in the outfield. Billy Butler, he's not today.
And got underneath it. Danny's throw wasn't great. His move was, but the throw over to Hosmer was high.
Yeah, he puts that ball down there by the bag. Duffy thinks he got him already.
Now a slide step and a snap throw. And the Royals are really picking on Marcus Semien.
Quickest hands in the league right there, Salvador Perez. That transfer from glove to hand. And he just drops that right knee and fires. He wears the gold.
And with that pitch being a swing and a miss by Chapman, Salvi assuming that Semien would take a step towards second base, seeing the batter swing. Immediate reaction was to throw down to first as Chapman strikes out. Another thing that Salvi does so well too is with a runner at second base in a bunt situation, if the batter misses the bunt, boy, he'd throw a rocket down to second base. And how many times he picked off guys on that play?
Believe it. Dangerous. Throws to all bases. You're the base coaches for the opponents. You got to really have an eye on Salvi and let those base runners know that he'll throw behind every pitch. Has the potential.
Strike to Eric Sogard. He was on with a single to center field in the third inning against Wong, and then he aggressively rounded second base on a ground ball to Mike Moustakas, which turned into an impressive. They're not calling it a double play. They're calling it a 2-out play. A single and then 2 outs on the bases, but a heads up, well choreographed play by the Royals defense.
Guy right there, Ron Washington, former manager, long time for the Texas Rangers, now is the infield instructor and third base coach for Bob Melvin. Does a great job with that infield.
This time they're going to call a balk. So it looked like Danny was lifting his leg and coming to the plate, and he saw the runner go and he tried to adjust.
Semien did the right thing there. You know, lots of times with a lefty with a good step off move and a decent move over there, you're going to go first movement. The minute he moves, you're going to go. See, Duffy, he saw him leave, but he wasn't planning on throwing to first base, and his foot broke the plane. Good practice.
Sometimes that's called, sometimes it isn't called. One and one.
You know, Semien's our shortstop. He made a boatload of errors last year, but only 7 in the second half of the season. So Ron Washington is the reason we showed you him. Has done a great job with Semien and the infielders to try to help them shore up their defense on the infield.
Well, he's got his hands full, as they've had a really bad time defensively the past 3 years. Out to Mondesi, gets a nice big hop and over to first to end the inning. So Duffy allows a leadoff walk but works around it, and the A's are scoreless through 5. Royals lead 4-0.
So
Here's Chin-Ming Wong. Salutes a teammate as he heads back to the Royals clubhouse. He pitched 3 scoreless innings, giving up just 3 singles. MLB.TV Premium is everything you have come to expect, and now more. Plus a new low price for 2016. You can watch spring training games and every out-of-market regular season game for all 30 teams live in HD at home, in the office, or on the go. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, and Kendrys Morales coming up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lorenzo has singled and walked. Chris Bassett's 5th inning, and really he's held it together. He walked 2, including, or both were with the bases loaded in that 4-run first inning, and now he's only allowed 2 base runners in his last 3 innings.
Bassett and Sonny Gray make up a nice little right-handed combination. Let's go back to the first inning. You know, that's the inning that you usually jump on a pitcher. He had a couple of walks, and Lorenzo Cain, or as Escobar, to start it off, Moose with a perfectly executed bunt. Cain going out to right field. Haas with a walk. Walked in a run. Alex took his walk. And then Fuentes with a beautiful opposite field single, knocked in a pair. That's when you get him in the first before he settles down.
So Hosmer had the bases loaded walk, and then he scored on the Fuentes base hit. He's also grounded into a fielder's choice. If you go back and watch some of those black and white films of baseball in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, and those guys had those big windups. I mean, they look like they're going to wind up and fly out of the stadium. Now we have more and more guys like Bassett. Hosmer out into right center field. The ball carries, and it is off the wall. Burns plays the ricochet, and Hosmer got some help from the wind and from the Arizona thin air. And he looks a little surprised as he's at second base with 1 out.
Man, Hosmer, he didn't quite get all of that. If he gets all that, that's way up in the grass berm. Coughlin, nice opportunity for him, but you know, he ran out of room as that breeze kind of carried him back and made a nice effort. Looks like he got it off the end of the bat a little bit. A little out in front, but look at how he put that flamingo leg kick up and down. Perfect stride. Coughlin ran out of room.
And now Morales takes inside. But you know, we saw Yordano Ventura last year. You really couldn't hardly tell the difference between the windup and the stretch. It was very subtle. David Price, you know, an example of that. And now Bassett is pitching out of the stretch with a runner at second base. But apparently he got the idea from Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray does the same thing, and they worked out together during the offseason. But it's the pitching mechanics out of the windup seem to get simpler and simpler.
That's right. It keeps them more compact, a little tighter, and these guys all throw hard. I think some of the old motions we used to see were guys that didn't really have the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Back then there was only a few guys that really threw hard, but that's more of a deceptive move to the hitter, all that big windup and stuff. And it works for a guy that throws hard too, but like you said, the game keeps evolving, keeps changing, and these pitchers now have that little short step here. Little short step gets them ready. Good balance out over the rubber. Able to leverage that lower body. Sorry, sir. Yeah, bring your glove next time. Good play. Use whatever
hit him right in the belly.
Yeah, perfect spot, man. If it did.
A hot dog?
Yeah, if it did.
No, what is it? That's a pretzel with some cheese.
Turn that ball into a marshmallow. Just stuck right there.
Jammed, and Hosmer on a ground ball back to the mound is going to go to third. 2 down.
Ah, it's great to see the fans back in the ballpark. Let's see how it happens. Oh yeah, right in the boiler.
Yep. A little tardy with that right hand. He's probably left-handed. You know, so the ball that or the hand that would have helped him out the most was occupied with that little container of cheese.
It's a good thing he had his chest protector on. Oops.
Ball one to Alex. He had one of the 2 bases loaded walks in the first inning, and then he scored on the Fuentes base hit.
Where would we be without fans, man? You know, remember how much fun we had last season? The fans at the stands, man, that makes it fun, especially at the K, all the signs, you know, and the people who are enjoying themselves. Baseball's back.
We did a game here the other night against the Dodgers, which was a record attendance for the Royals at Surprise Stadium, over 11,000. 3-0 to Alex.
Chris Bassett now working on his 90th pitch. They're stretching him out.
Alex walks on 4 pitches, so we'll see what happens here with 90 pitches and a 4-pitch walk. The A's appear to be ready in the bullpen if they decide to make a change. Fernando Rodriguez is warming up. And now Travis Snyder is going to run for Alex Gordon.
Yep, at the point with 8 days left in spring training where Ned Yost is giving his regulars everyday reps. Now it's time to get them used to playing every day. Wow.
Bullet. And right by Simeon and into left center field. That drives home Eric Hosmer. Snyder stops at second base, and the Royals lead is 5-0.
Can't square a ball up any better. Right over the middle of the plate on the outer half. And if you're a shortstop, that's all you can do. You just kind of wave that glove in front and hope it lands in it.
First and second for Raymond Fuentes. He drove in 2 more runs in the first inning. He and Eric Hosmer have driven in 12 to lead the Royals. And he's also grounded out to second base. He has Snyder at second base and Perez at first. One and one.
Go back to that first inning. Let's take a look at this nice looking base hit to the opposite field. You know, that's all you want to do in that pitch. This ball was on the borderline 2-3 inches off the outside part of the plate. Bases loaded. You're looking to pull the ball, but not there. Nice to see him go with that pitch.
Inside. 2-1. When Dayton Moore was here in the booth, Dayton talked about Fuentes being a first-round pick of the Red Sox, and then he was part of a big trade going from the Red Sox to the Padres. He was part of a trade that included Adrian Gonzalez. It was Fuentes and Anthony Rizzo going to the Padres for Adrian Gonzalez, who was in his prime at that time. Rizzo is now one of the best players in the National League playing for the Cubs.
You know, if you're young and you have some talent, you know, sometimes, you know, organizations will use you to try to get better. But what I like about Fuentes is his hands are in great hitting position. It's a little bit over his shoulder, but he takes a good level swing all the time, and his bat stays in that zone a long time, so he's able to use that whole field. And obviously, young man, he's got a lot of talent. He can do it all, and they call a guy like him a baseball player, and that's a nice rap to have, especially when the scouts and people, you know, call you that. That means you're well-rounded. You can do it all. Hustles. He plays hard.
Crack bat and a foul ball. The Royals got Fuentes from the Padres for minor league pitcher Kyle Bartsch. B-A-R-T-S-C-H. What do you know about Kyle Bartsch, Ed?
That's the first time I've heard his name. But I'll tell you, Dayton was quick to point out how much he listens to his scouting staff and how much he really trusts those guys for the good word. They go out and they look at these players, they talk to people, they don't just measure their stats and their ability on the field, they always check their character as well. You have to have a certain special character to wear a Royals uniform. You got to fit in that clubhouse.
Another foul ball. For the record, Kyle Bartsch played 2 years in the Royals minor league system and has spent last year in A-ball with the Padres at Lake Elsinore.
Position player?
Pitcher.
Okay.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you, Fuentes makes this ball club and they hit him in that 8 or 9 hole. That's some good production down there. Another guy that can get on base for the top of the order. Escobar, Moustakas, Kane. Ooh.
It's one of the best pitches Chris Bassett has made all day. So the Royals add a run on the Salvador Perez base hit. It's 5-0 KC. Peter Moylan comes on for the Royals as we go to the 6th inning. A lot of other defensive changes, which we will get to later in the inning. But let's go to the Royals dugout and visit with Alex Gordon, who came out as a pinch runner in the Royals half of the 5th inning. A couple of walks for Alex, an RBI, and a run scored. You said, sorry to put you on the spot right out of the chute, but you said at a sponsor event, which I don't know was tongue-in-cheek or not the other night, that maybe Dayton didn't realize it, but you were coming back no matter what.
Yeah, I thought he figured it out after my last contract, because that's what I said after it happened. And, it was kind of a joke, but I was kind of being serious. I mean, the whole goal this offseason was to get back here, and that's where I wanted to be. And, it took a little bit longer, but free agency was kind of weird this year. So, all worked out in the end, and, so happy to be back.
I got caught up like everyone else did, Hud. I don't know if you did as well, but I listened to the wrong people and read the wrong things. I think a lot of your teammates felt the same way, too, that it just seemed really unlikely. Not that the Royals didn't want you back, but it just seemed unlikely. Did you get caught up in that at all? Did you ever think to yourself, oh, my gosh, it's over?
I'm a pretty positive guy. I try to, stay focused on the goal at hand. That was to get back here. And, I did listen to some of the rumors and all that. And, there were other teams interested, but we really didn't get too far. So when the Royals came a knocking, then the negotiations started to heat up. It was a no-brainer.
Alex, what's different this spring compared to last spring?
For me, not having a cast on my arm and having to start from square one from opening day. So just getting prepared and doing my normal routine and feeling strong and healthy is the main key, and that's how I feel right now. So it's totally different from last year. It was kind of behind the 8 ball the whole time. So no more catch up this year.
This is Whit Merrifield, who's at third base now. Close play with Burns, great speed. Decker helps out Merrifield with a nice stretch. And there is one down. Clint Varmus is now at shortstop. Christian Colon is at second. Cody Decker is at first. Tributera is behind the plate. And now Terrence Gore in left. Paulo Orlando in center. And Travis Snyder, who ran for Alex in the 5th inning, is now in right field.
Alex, let me follow up that question. I know it was a different offseason for you, health-wise and everything. Man, that really for a player is great when you're not having to deal with any issues.
Yeah.
My question now is the same question, but it's team-oriented. What's different this spring compared to last spring? Anything?
Not really. People just, going about their business the right way. I would say that we're kind of taking a little bit more slower just because the last 2 years we played, an extra month, both seasons. So trying to take it slow and make sure everybody's fresh and healthy and good to go. So everybody's preparing the same way. Everyone's focus is the same way. So nothing's really different except for, what I just talked about.
No chips on anybody's shoulder, no anger issues. We're going to show you or any of that.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, every year there's different expectations from other people outside of the game. But, our main focus is, what we can handle and what we can take care of. And that's us. And we're focused on that and really not, listen to anybody else's expectations. We just believe in ourselves and we all get along. So it's pretty easy to do that.
Hud and I were talking about that an inning or so ago with, the forecasters who come out and they put all the numbers into a computer and it spits out how many games the Royals are going to win. And, those obviously have not come true over the past couple of years. But Hud and I both believe that if you're looking at the Royals from a distance, you say, wow, the Royals are out to prove that those numbers are wrong. But we think that those PECOTA numbers and all that doesn't have anything to do with the motivation for you guys. Are we right?
No, not really. I mean, we really don't pay attention to that. Our motivation is to get back to where we were last year and do something special. I mean, anybody can win the World Series once. It's special teams that can do it over and over again. So hopefully we can stay healthy, and I think if we do that, we're going to be okay.
Alex, so that defense that the Royals showed in that first inning, that nice little double play on there, aggressive base running was beautiful. But Paulo Orlando right here, he took the perfect route. He turned the perfect way. You don't want to turn with your face or with your body facing the plate. You turn with your back to the wall. I mean, how much of that do you work on?
Oh, all day, every day. This guy next to me, Rusty Kuntz, is the main reason why we're so good out there. He's working all day, every day, never taking a minute off, and always pushing us. So he's all about knowledge, and there's nobody better to work with than him, and he'll get you right out there.
Is there a such thing as a routine fly ball in Arizona?
Not really. With the sun, the wind, all that. Every time I step out on the field, the sun's right on top of me. So I'm getting a lot of practice with the sun ball and balls carrying, stuff like that. So it makes it easy for the season.
Wind blasting out today. And well, the sky won't be as difficult, as you know, when the Royals head back to Kansas City for the regular season. I don't know if it's going to be this warm, though. We were talking to Ian Kennedy about that.
That might get up in the wind right there. Watch it. And a sunball. Yes. No, we don't care about the cold weather. We like it, so it's going to be energy and a lot of adrenaline, so it won't matter.
Alex, thanks for your time.
Yep.
It's so good to see you in a Royals uniform again, and it's been a lot of fun this spring training here, and that little extra ovation where the fans are feeling the same way when you get introduced.
They're great.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Okay. Alex Gordon with us. It is 5-0 KC to the bottom of the 6th. Baseball is brought to you by Shelter Insurance for your auto, home, and life. Visit your local agent and find us on the web at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Sunny day in Surprise, Arizona. Temperatures will top out in the upper 80s. Fernando Rodriguez comes on to pitch for the A's after the Royals scored 5 runs in 5 innings against Chris Bassett. I mentioned earlier in the game that the A's have some work to do in their bullpen as Colon lines to right. Coughlin is there to make the play. That was Colon's first at bat of the game. The Oakland A's had the worst or the highest bullpen earned run average in the American League last year. One of the guys that they went out and got was Ryan Madsen, who had a great year for the Royals last season.
Yeah, well, they had some issues last year, but losing some one-run games, some close games, and so how important bullpens are in this modern game now, in modern era. So the A's went out and got Ryan Madsen, John Axford to go along with a healthy Doolittle as their closer. I'm hoping that'll take care of that back end. They've had issues this spring, though. They've got a highest ERA as a team in spring training. You could say it's only spring, and you hope that that's the case for them.
Barmes is down on strikes. Yeah, this is a continuation of what we were discussing earlier in the game, where we say, well, it's just spring training, but when you're coming off numbers like that, you want to feel a little bit better going into the regular season. If the A's were one of the best pitching teams last year and they have a high ERA right now, you go, oh well. But when you have issues the year before, oh boy.
Yeah, no, it seems to multiply, but you wonder how much of that was defensive related as well.
Whit Merrifield hits for the first time. He took over for Moustakas at third base last half inning. His numbers last year at AAA Omaha. And he has really opened some eyes because of his versatility. We've seen Merrifield in big league spring training games in years past, but he is seen as that, as we were talking about Chris Coughlin of the A's earlier today, that Ben Zobrist type now, where they're looking at not only playing him on the infield but also in the outfield, as Salvi gets a nice ovation as he heads to the clubhouse.
Yeah, Merrifield needs to continue to stay focused on what he can do each day and not worry about what people are saying. His talent that he has, the versatility you mentioned, the fact he can play outfield and infield, only increases his value. He's got a good stick. He swings the bat. He can run. It's the stolen bases that are impressive. He's a National League type player. But sometimes as a player, actually most of the time, you don't control where you go. You're a piece of property. So all you can control is your attitude and your output. Concentrate on those things, and eventually the cream rises to the top. Don't give up on yourself. Don't listen to any of those. He's 27 years old. He's got a chance to accumulate some big league time if he doesn't get down on himself. Listen to all the negativity that's out there. If you do, you won't make it. You've got to stay positive. Keep saying, I can, I will. Beauty. Nice hit right there. Any of that self-doubt that creeps into a player, or anyway, for a person anyway, that's trying for a job, a young person, I can't, well, I'm not sure, oh, it's going to be tough. They don't want to dwell on those things, because the power of negative thinking is just as strong as positive thinking. You better stay on that positive side in this game for sure, because there's so much negativity in the game. It's tough. I'm done. Had to get that out.
I could tell.
I love the kid. I'm excited for him.
But it seems to me like everyone's excited about Whit Merrifield. Did somebody do a rip piece on Whit Merrifield that we're not aware of?
No, but sometimes you're wondering to yourself, and I was in his shoes, I wonder if it could happen. I mean, gosh,
when's it going to happen? When you're moving around at so many positions.
Yeah, and you're not
good enough at one that they got to move me around. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's tough being a role player like that. It's hard to get established. It's hard to make a 25-man roster.
I'm glad you were able to express yourself, though.
Thank you.
I can say in the look in your face that you feel better.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. How long have you been hanging on to that?
For a while. But I saw him in the batting cage the other day, and I just wore him out. Just told him to continue to stay positive and keep your same demeanor. You know, he's a good clubhouse guy. Don't you dare get down on yourself.
It was as a college player, but he already has the hit of a lifetime. How about a walk-off extra inning base hit in the deciding game of the College World Series for the University of South Carolina to beat UCLA back in 2010. 2-2 on Paulo Orlando, who bats for the first time. Royals scored 4 in the first inning against Chris Bassett. They added 1 more in the 5th, and now a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ryan Lefebvre with Rex Hudler at Surprise Stadium. A week from tomorrow, the Royals will be in Kansas City taking on the New York Mets.
Amazing. It's already here. But these players, if you ask them now, they just assume play opening day tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, that week to 10 days is when I think you can begin to feel that vibe of, okay, let's get going. Especially for the guys who are feeling good right now.
Yeah, right? And you know the equipment truck's going to head north here real soon, any day. So you know you're packing your extra belongings, you know, some of your personal items, and so that doesn't help the anxiety.
Orlando goes down on strikes. Rodriguez strikes out 2 in a scoreless bottom of the 6th inning. Once again, you can't beat fun at the old ballpark. 5-0 Royals on a sunny, windy day. Peter Moylan pitched a 1-2-3, top of the 6th inning. He stays on for the 7th. Many years pitching for the Atlanta Braves. Peter Moylan from 2006 through 2012, and then he returned to the Braves last year after a year with the Dodgers. And pitched part of the season at AAA and part of the season at the big league level. And he's going to give a right-hand batter a very unique look, dropping down submarine style.
Sure does. A little sinking fastball that comes into the righty. It's tough to keep that shoulder closed.
Facing Chris Davis. Davis last year with the Brewers led Milwaukee with 27 home runs. Also struck out 122 times. Right to Barmes at short. One away. So a week from tomorrow is the opener for the Royals, but our opener on Fox Sports Kansas City will be 2 days later on Tuesday, April 5th. Our coverage begins at 6 a.m. We're going to replay a couple of World Series games, plenty of pregame coverage, and then game 2 with the Mets. Stephen Vogt. He is single to center and line to second base.
It was Stephen Vogt in 2014 when I went into their clubhouse and I asked him about the Royals, and he said they just keep coming. One hitter after another. Now, there's not a power threat in there, but Vogt being a catcher, he had to think his way through that lineup. Since every guy has their own specialty, but they've all put the ball in play, he said that by the time the game's over, we're frazzled. I loved his honesty and really the compliment that he was giving the Royals offense. And then sure enough, they beat him in that wild card. And the rest has been history. Still, to me, Ryan, the wild card game is one of the greatest baseball games I've ever witnessed. Excitement. I mean, it's just incredible. Still remember it. Never forget it.
Well, that was the launching point. 29 years with no trips to the postseason. And Christian Colon scoring the game-winning run on Salvador Perez base hit past Josh Donaldson. And then the very next year, Christian Colon getting a big hit in the 12th inning. And they put the Royals in front in what ended up being a 5-run top of the 12th inning. But yeah, I mean, that, I think, you know, we'll see what happens this year and the year after that. And the year after that, the Royals are in very good position to continue to win and go deep into the postseason. But I would bet right now, if you ask people, you know, what memories do you have that really stand out the most? Your 2 top memories, or maybe your top 3. Not just the final out of the World Series last year, but that wild card game.
And it was wild. And you know, you're fortunate to where you get to work on the radio side in postseason. I am fortunate I get to sit in the stands with my family. And I'll never forget when Yordano Ventura was warming up in that bullpen out there, and he came in and gave up not 1 but 2 home runs. How angry the people were. It was, I had to leave. I told my family, hey guys, I got to go. Because it turned around, didn't it?
Boy, did it ever.
Hey, Royals fans. It's time.
season, 107 at-bats. His biggest at-bat. Cologne delivers in the left. And this scores Dyson. And Kansas City is on top 3-2.
How about that? Crowning moment indeed. The hit, as it's referred to now.
He has a knack of coming up big in the 12th inning in the postseason. Christian Colon does. Cody Decker batting for the first time. 1 ball and 1 strike. And facing A's closer Sean Doolittle. Had some injury issues last year and only pitched in 12 games. In 2014 he had 22 saves. Simeon, good play up the middle and gets Decker. So Simeon, who had an awful year last year defensively, he had an A's record 35 errors. Makes a very good defensive play up the middle to get Decker.
We talked about the hard surface, the ground, hits off the mound. Man, that ball, Decker was surprised that didn't get to the outfield. He robbed him. Nice play. Talked about his difficult season he had at shortstop last season, but it's going to improve this year for sure.
About 28 of those came in the first half.
And then Ron Washington showed up and made a world of difference.
Sogard fighting the sun. Tony Cruz was batting for Kendrys Morales, and there are 2 down. Show your support for the World Series champions and Royals charities. You can drive around town with a personalized Royals license plate. This offer is only for Missouri residents. Reserve your customized Royals license plate with a $35 donation to Royals charities. And to register, go to royals.com/license plates. Travis Snyder hits for the first time. Came on as a pinch runner for Alex Gordon in the 5th.
How can you play defense in Arizona with no sunglasses on? Eric Sogard. Wow. Way to go.
Back to Doolittle. He had a blown save, by the way, in that wild card game 2 years ago. He gets the Royals in order. It is stretch time, and surprise, the Royals lead 5-0. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Vencius. 5-0 Royals to the top of the 8th inning. And it'll be David Huff, who spent last year at AAA Oklahoma City, mostly as a reliever. The Royals are familiar with him, having pitched with the Cleveland Indians, so he was inside the division. Oklahoma City is the AAA affiliate of the Dodgers. That's going to take a while to get used to, and he did appear in 3 games with the Dodgers, but most of the year at AAA.
It's amazing how much talent there is out there. I mean, this guy, he's got a nice left-handed arm. He works hard. He's got good stuff, but there's just not enough jobs. So you wonder what happens to a guy like this. Well, you just hang in there and you wait and hope that some major league team needs you.
Terrence Gore makes a play in left field.
And, you know, it can be a little disappointing at times, especially like Huff. He's got big league time, big league experience. Just got to wait for that turn again, and then when you get it, you got to perform to stay.
Parts of 9 major league seasons,
yeah,
David Huff.
Right. Gordon did a nice job staying with that sinking liner. Veteran guy. You know, towards this last week of the season, teams start evaluating their personnel and they start making decisions on what you're going to do. There's usually some releases that happen, and then they're out there looking for guys that get left off of that roster and that are on the waiver wire, and they pick them up. Could be another nice opportunity for a lot of guys.
Huff thought that was strike 3. Walking off the mound, expecting to be done with Matt Chapman, who has struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice. Grounded to third. Tough hop. Nice job by Merrifield. 2 down.
Wow, you know, some balls you charge, and that's one of them that you don't. He just did a nice job of waiting back on that. Good soft hands. Cradled that in. Good throw. Nice play.
I think it was that passionate speech that you gave when he was batting.
That's right.
That helped him out. Eric Sogard right to Paulo Orlando in center field. So a quick top of the 8th for David Huff. And Royals relievers have retired the last 12 A's hitters. Our next telecast will be Tuesday night. It'll be the Royals and the Giants here in Surprise. And if the Royals Royals win, the Giants are going to give them the World Series trophy from 2014.
That's right. I can't believe I heard that. That's very generous of them.
They finished second to the Dodgers last year in the West. Did a nice job offensively, but they had issues on the mound, so they went out and spent a lot of money on Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija. They also signed Denard Span. And, of course, in San Francisco, they're all excited about one of those even years. They won the World Series 2010, 2012, 2014. Interesting, the years in between, they didn't even make it to the postseason.
Yeah, what happened? Well, they've done a great job.
They're in a bigger market. They have spent more money on free agents than the Royals have, and yet there are a lot of similarities between the two organizations. This is Ryan Dull. I've been called that before. He'll take over in the bottom of the 8th inning and pitch to Drew Butera, but there are a lot of homegrown players in the Giants organization. They like to keep their homegrown players. A baseball ops in both the office and on the field that's been together for a long time. Great working relationship between the general manager and the manager, like here in Kansas City. Don't have a lot of bad characters in their organization, and if they do, by the time you find out they're a bad character, they've already moved on to another organization.
Yep. It's a lot about consistency within that organization that works for championship caliber teams. Same pitching coach, Ned Yost. Most wins in Royals history as a manager. He's got him a nice coaching staff that he trusts. And Dave Island's been there for his 5th year now. It's really, these teams and organizations are in a good place.
Fouled away by Terrence Gore.
I went in the clubhouse the other day to talk to Dale Swaim, and it was early. And it was probably 1 o'clock for a night game, and Dale was in the video room with Terrence Gore. And then Terrence Gore went out after getting coached by Swaim on the video. He went out in the cage and just started hitting. And, that's what he's got to do. He wants to become a regular player in the majors, and he wants to try to break that label of a running only guy. So he knows what he's got up ahead of him.
I'm going to say he went around. Chris Siegel is the first base umpire. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gore. Yeah. And now down on strikes. Ryan Dull, young pitcher the A's are very excited about. Will probably start the year in the minor leagues, but he has struck out 2 in this inning. Calling all Mizzou and SLU fans. Make sure you make it out to Kauffman Stadium Tuesday, March 29th to watch the Tigers and the Billikens battle it out under the big league lights. Game time is 6:30. Youth tickets start at $5 and adult tickets start at just $10, and parking is free. College baseball at Kauffman Stadium. That's coming up in just 3 days. Go to Royals.com/college baseball. Christian Colon lined to right in his only at bat. Good swing. 1 and 2. Canna in foul territory, fighting the sun. They'll make the catch, and that will end the inning. So the sun has been brutal all day. So even on your belly button, man, no area is safe.
Meet the new John Deere.
This is what the drive was like to surprise Arizona.
I wouldn't doubt it.
There was almost nothing out here, and boy, this area has grown. It has blossomed. It is a great facility, which was made even better this past offseason when both the Royals and the Rangers got upgrades to their clubhouses. That ball is going to drop in between Paulo Orlando and Travis Snyder. And Billy Burns is on to begin the 9th inning. Royals pitchers had retired 12 straight and 16 out of 17 before that base hit off of David Huff. But when we came here in 2003, it was hard to imagine, you know, what this is going to look like. And now you drive into Surprise and it looks like any other city in the greater Phoenix area. I mean, you can get anything you want within 5 minutes. But the vision to see this area grow the way that it has, it was a bold move. I remember we came out here in 2001. I think it was the winter of 2001 for a little Goodyear goodwill visit. The Royals and the Rangers both. George Brett was there. Nolan Ryan was there, just to promote an upcoming vote in the Phoenix area, which I believe was tied to the Cardinals stadium in Glendale. It was a big tax initiative. This facility was built. That facility was built. That ball's hit well into left center field. Paulo Orlando with a long run, and at the last moment he may have lost it in the sun. Coming around third is Burns, and into third base is Canna, and the A's get their first run in the 9th inning. It is now 5-1.
Yeah, there are a few Oakland A's fans in the stands. Yeah, I got to believe at the last minute there, Paulo, he might have lost that when he's running in the direction of that sun. And I think he just, you know, that's a hopeless situation when you're an outfielder and you lose sight of that ball. I hope it doesn't hit you in the noggin.
Jake Smolinski. No balls and 1 strike. Anyway, we drove out here, and I mean, there was a Home Depot out here. There was a Walmart, an Olive Garden, and a Red Lobster. And this field was a field of roses. It was beautiful. I'd never seen anything like that before. And the intent was to come out here, and we were here with Mr. Glass, and Mike Sweeney was here, and just to come out and get people excited about the potential, the Royals and the Rangers coming. And I mean, as we drove back to the airport, there was some, you know, mumbling in the car about Boy, they're really putting us out in the middle of nowhere, aren't they? But boy, has this area grown, and now it doesn't feel like it's out in the middle of nowhere anymore.
It's a modern city in the desert.
Great location. The Royals play the Rangers here a few times, not as often as we used to. We played them 5 or 6 times before other teams moved here, but right in one direction to the south, the Indians and Reds are there. To the southeast, you've got the White Sox and the Dodgers. Straight east, the Padres and the Mariners. Snyder goes into foul ground to make the play. That'll be deep enough for Canada to come down from third. So 1 down in the 9th inning. And with the Royals' increased popularity, there have been increased ticket sales. Royals ticket sales up 40% compared to last year. Both teams got over $20 million to upgrade their facilities. That's the Royals side over on the third base side. Nice diving play at second base by Cologne, and from a knee, Andrew Lambeau was the batter runner. 2 down.
Oh yeah, this is really nice, and he kind of stuck in the ground there, but he's able to glove it. Nice play. You know, you expect to slide a little bit, but he didn't. Gets up quickly. Says, nice job. Saved me a few pitches there.
Carson Blair will bat for Stephen Vogt, and he takes a strike. So Surprise, the city of Surprise, spent a lot of money to upgrade the facilities. The Royals and the Rangers in turn extended their leases, their contracts through 2029.
Haven't had a chance to go to the Rangers side and see what they did, but man, that Royals side, that clubhouse is beautiful. 16,000 more square footage than last year. I mean, that's a lot.
One ball and 2 strikes. Five-2 Royals, 9th inning. Over the inside, and that's the game. So until the 9th inning, it was a very good day on the mound for the Royals. And the Royals scored big early. 4 of the 5 runs came in the first inning. Final score 5-2, and we'll be back to wrap things up.